be upon him, was speaking to a companion whose name was Mu'az ibn Jabal, radiallahu ta'ala, and he gave him a timeline of events with which history will culminate. He said, when Jerusalem, I'm giving you the English translation, not the Arabic text, when Jerusalem is center stage in the world, look at Medina, it is in forlorn desolation, playing no role at all in the affairs of the world. No role at all in the affairs of the world. Forlorn desolation. At that time, he said, the next event which will occur will be the Malhama, the Great War. And the Christians refer to it as Armageddon, and the Jews do the same thing. He then said, after the Great War, the next event that will occur will be the conquest of Constantinople. And because of this, they changed the name of the city from Constantinople, and they prevented you are legally prohibited from using the name Constantinople now in Turkey, in order to hide the subject. That the conquest of Constantinople, prophesied by Nabi Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, would take place 7 years after the Great War. But another hadith says 7 months. And then after the Great War, the next event to occur would be the khuruj of the Antichrist, of al-Masih al-Dajjal. Khuruj means appearing in person. Prior to this he was here, but the Quran refers to him as a shadow. And the shadow would appear in 3 parts. And my book, Jerusalem in the Quran, if you look at the cover design, you'd see the 3 parts. That in the first part, the Antichrist, having brought modern Western civilization into being, they don't teach this in political science in the universities. Having brought modern Western civilization into being, the Antichrist then gave us the first stage in which Pax Britannica occurred. And Britain became the ruling state in the world. And then in the second stage he gave us Pax Americana. And the United States replaced Britain as the next ruling state in the world. And at all instances, Britain, United States always have an obsession with the Holy Land. An obsession with bringing the Jews back to the Holy Land. An obsession in restoring a state of Israel in the Holy Land. And an obsession in getting that Israel to rule the world. And so after Pax Americana comes the third and the last stage of the shadow. Pax Judaica. And then the Antichrist, or al-Masih al-Dajjal, would appear in person. The Christian world doesn't know this. We have this in our eschatology. They don't have it. And guess how many scholars of Islam are teaching this subject? When he appears in person, at that time you'll see him, he will be a Jew. He'll be a young man, be powerfully built. He'll have the curls at the side, the sideburns that the Torah says that the Israelite people must keep. So here is the opening statement of our lecture. The hadith of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, which gives us this extraordinarily important timeline of events. And in this timeline of events is located the Great War. And that's where we are now. Because Jerusalem is now center stage. An Israeli Prime Minister said many years ago, we control the United States of America. That's what he said. If any Pakistani Prime Minister were to say that, the bombs would start falling. But Israel could say that and get away. We are precisely at that moment now in history when Jerusalem is center stage, and Medina is playing no role whatsoever. It's in forlorn desolation. And so we are in fact now waiting for the next event, which is the Great War. As a consequence, Islamic scholarship should have this on the front burner. The scholars of Islam should be lecturing on this subject. The Mimbar should always be speaking on this subject. Is it not mysterious that nobody